Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and we've got some big news to talk about. Just an FYI, I'm going to be out of town this weekend, so I'll probably have a couple videos dropping. Some may be talking heads, some may be guides over Solstice armor, just depends on what I can finish up before I leave. But this is huge. So, we've got Destiny 2 Shadowkeep dropping on now October 1st instead of September 17th. Basically, they bumped it back 2 weeks. Now, they have a article on the Bungie blog, they've got a couple tweets out there, but basically what they're saying is they wanted more time to iron out the details. They're making big changes, they've got an MMO and RPG elements they're working on for these things, crushing barriers for entry, all these things are big, so they want to make sure and do them right. So, they don't take the decision lightly, but honestly they're saying, hey, if we can bump it off 2 weeks, then we would much rather give you a complete picture, something to give us just a little bit more time. Now some people might say, hey, Borderlands is coming out 4 days before you are going to release your game. Were you scared about that? Did you want to give it a little space to it? You know what? That may or may not be a thing, and I have no way to know. I think Borderlands 3 is going to be very big because I think it's been a long time since people have played that game. A lot of people who played Destiny have played Borderlands and vice versa. Now, I've never played a Borderlands, something I probably should do before that thing comes out. But for me, that's one of those that actually is something I might be able to try now, which is kind of cool. Gives a little space between some of the September releases because September is absolute insanity. And honestly, for them, they could have looked at September and just been like, you have Monster Hunter World, you have Borderlands, you have Link's Awakening, you have things on different platforms, and that's just not even all of them, that are going to be pulling at people's time. And to let Destiny 2 launch in a good place, giving it a little better window, may be one of those things. They may say it's something so they can polish stuff up, and it may honestly be something more for a marketing release time decision. So whatever spin they put on it, that's up to them. But for me, this is totally fine. Honestly, it's 2 more weeks, which if it just gives them time to iron out a few more things, get a better day one patch out there. And this is really important because New Light is what's going to launch with Shadowkeep, and New Light is ultra important for Bungie and Destiny. Bungie is technically an indie studio. I mean, they're a massive indie studio, but they are independent, so what they do has to be a good product, and they're not going to rush it, which I appreciate. Talked about this many times on The Last Word, and that's a real thing. But the idea here is that you've got a company that wants a little more time to release their product, and they're choosing to do so for whatever reasons they want to. If they think it's going to be more successful at a different date, if they need a little more time to iron out some things so they don't have to put people through crunch for 1 more week. I can bet you there's crunch going on over there just because there's no way for Shadowkeep this isn't going to be a thing. But they try really hard not to have crunch at their studio, and I appreciate that. And honestly, if it's 2 weeks delayed, there's so much going on in September, it's going to be fine. We're all going to be fine. Now, the nice thing about this is they've said they are going to extend Moments of Triumph through September 17th. So you'll have 3 more weeks to work on this year's challenges and unlock the rewards and all those things. So if you feel like you needed to grind it out, you've got more time. You've got 2 different, what am I trying to think of? You've got 2 different Shadow Thrones that are going to come through instead of just that one, but that's not even a big deal for the Masterworks. They're going to do another Iron Banner the week of September 17th instead, so you've got more time during the season as well for stuff like that. And cross-save will actually come online later this summer, so you'll have time to sort out your friends list well ahead of Shadowkeep, which that I actually really do appreciate. I think that may be part of it as well, is the fact that cross-save is something they've been testing out there in the wild. You've seen tweets of people being on different platforms, playing with different people. So the cross-save is something I think they may want to launch first, make sure they iron out some kinks there, so then when everything goes live with Shadowkeep and New Light, the cross-save is smooth. And that may be honestly the biggest thing. I mean, Borderlands, marketing, release dates, that may be a factor, but as cross-save is an important thing for this launch with New Light to be able to be like, hey, I got, Destiny 2 for free on Xbox. Cool. I want to go over here on, my PC, or I want to, plug in my Stadia when I'm out of town. The fact that that needs to work absolutely as smooth as possible is crucial. I want to go play on Steam. I'm going to go play upstairs on my Xbox. That is one of those things when they sell Shadowkeep that has to be working. So for me, cross-save is one of those things coming out sooner. You can switch your friends list over. You're going to be able to hopefully cross-save while both platforms are still live. That's all big stuff. Now, I don't know if they had to be like, hey, Activision, can we have 2 more weeks on Battle.net? I'm hoping they're not petty enough that was a big deal. But they've bumped it out to October 1st. So we all know September is a packed month. I mean, for me, Monster Hunter World, Borderlands, Zelda, Link's Awakening, like those are 3 decent sized titles on top of like Code Vein and a couple other ones. There's a lot in September that is just packed. So having Destiny in the middle of that, I mean, Destiny still is going to have some weight. It's going to be free on Steam, which is going to be absolutely huge. Like, if you picture games on Steam, yeah, some are cheap and things like that, but free is still free. And Destiny being a free game, having access to old raids, you've got access to all the planets, even the new ones that you can go see. You may not be able to do that much stuff, and then you're going to be able to do Crucible, Strikes, and Gambit, regular Gambit as well, all for free with like the shooting mechanics of Destiny, of course, Bungie support. Like, New Light is going to be huge because that is an amazing free game on Steam. I mean, there's things like Warframe out there as well. They've supported that. They've done an epic journey with Warframe. And this is going to be in this is going to be in that same realm of free content is hard to pass up. And this is a way for people to come in. So making sure that is running smooth, cross-save works swimmingly, that's got to happen. So cross-save could honestly be the bigger piece behind this, but to me, it's really okay no matter which way they go about this. Now, one other thing to note is that Luke Smith is where I saw this tweet come out first. And basically he stated Shadowkeep would benefit from a little more time on the workbench, so we're going to take it. So Shadowkeep and New Light will launch on October 1st. But the tweet below that, he says, I'm hoping to publish a state of the game, warning, likely very long, somewhat to varied nerdy post next week, looking at the last 6 months of learnings from Destiny 2 and outlining the kind of changes we're making to the game in Shadowkeep and why. Now that next week is almost probably going to be more important than anything we get between release times and everything else to understand the journey that they've gone through. And I think that's something that's really, really awesome to see Luke Smith like writing an article to the community and to a lot of people about what they've learned about Destiny 2. What are they changing in Shadowkeep as they're going more to an RPG, like stat-based, roles and things like that, maybe more even into builds. It's something they want to explain, and if you're willing to read it, he's going to put it out there for you. That's the director of the game, like a month before Shadowkeep is coming out, and he's going to put a long post out there that explains what they've been doing in the studio. That is not required. This is one of the reasons I really like Bungie, is because he's going to take the time to put that out, talk to the community, explain what's going on, and explain some of the changes. And I cannot wait to read every single word of that next week. So I'll be looking forward to that. I'm sure it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday, as they seem to drop all news on those 2 days. So we will see. We got a little bit more news with this as well. We've got the world's first raid race with Shadowkeep. We've got the date and we've got the name. So first, we've got the date. I'll get to the name in a second. Saturday, October 5th. This is the first raid race on Saturday that they have ever done. I'm sure it will be at reset time, so it's going to start for me. It would be noon on a Saturday. I mean, can you pick a better time? It's on a weekend. More people don't have to take off work in the middle of the week on like a Tuesday or a Friday. You've got Saturday and Sunday, so if you're going to do a 24-hour race, then you've got that thing as well. They say contest is also going to be active. So you've got not 6 hours, you've got 4 days. You've got contest, so it's going to cap your level no matter how high you get, and then after that, you're still going to be able to go for what you can. And then to top everything else off, you've got it on a weekend, so more people will be able to play this thing at launch, go for the race, so that should be interesting. Now, the fact that it's 4 days is also going to be interesting to know. Our light level cap, we're 750 right now. I know when we saw the screenshots, we saw 800 in the Vidoc. I think that's a little small for a Shadowkeep expansion. I honestly would like to see about 900, so at least 150 gap. Some people were saying if they got to 850 and then the seasons went 50-50-50, where you end year 3 at 1,000, that might make sense. So if in 4 days you had to try to get to 850 but 100 power levels, that would be probably nuts. So I don't know. I don't know what contest is going to be. I'm not entirely sure how they're going to balance all that, because I don't want to burn through everything so fast that I don't enjoy it, but also the raid needs to be an in-game activity, so it's in 4 days, you're going to be towards the upper end of that light level. That's kind of interesting. We've also got the name. It's called Garden of Salvation. Now, previously this is the Black Garden, which was overtaken by the Vex and the Black Heart, and basically kind of just all bad things. Now I've got the Garden of Salvation. So I don't know if we're going to be saving somebody, if we're going to be like, I don't know. There's so many things to think about. So let me know your guys' thoughts on the name. Garden of Salvation for a raid. If there's any lore potential behind that. If we're trying to like save you know, we think Eris goes into the moon and wakes something up. Is this where we actually go through and finish this process? Who knows? So a lot of questions as opposed to answers. We'll get more answers next week from Luke's article. The TWAB will drop later today. That's this week at Bungie. And we will be doing a last word podcast bright and crack of dawn early in the morning tomorrow because I'm going out of town, as I said. But we are going to talk about this and the TWAB and stuff like that. But I wanted to get this video out for you guys just to remind you, it's only a couple more weeks. Like, it's going to be fine. Honestly, I appreciate this because it's them saying, hey, we want to release this on our time. And they've got a lot of weight coming into this release with cross-save, with, you know, going to Steam. All of those things need to be smooth, and they want to put out the best product they absolutely can. And I 100% support this. Some people are out there saying, hey, I took off work already. It's like, okay, well, it's August 1st and it's September 17th. Maybe see if you can adjust it. If you can't, it's still just a video game. Life will go on. The raid is actually releasing on a Saturday, so if you play on the evenings and then you play the raid on a Saturday, then maybe that'll help. Like, the ones who take a week off, I mean, that's up to you if you've got the time to do that. But now's your time. You have 6 weeks to try and adjust to bump it out a month. So all of those things, I mean, yeah, those seem like little petty things to get mad about. So yeah, you're probably rolling your eyes like I am because you shouldn't get that mad about those types of things. So for me, I'm looking forward to seeing what Luke has to say. I mean, waiting another couple of weeks for a better product is totally fine in my opinion. Giving September a little more space to breathe with Borderlands and Monster Hunter World and all of those things in there. So when this comes out, it's not like fresh on the beat of Borderlands. So whatever the reason they chose to move this release date, whether it was a little more time to polish stuff out, moving away from Borderlands, making sure cross-save is smooth and giving time to like kind of tweak and debug while that's kind of in working, say if they release it at the end of August or something like that, and they have a month to figure out cross-save to make sure that's 100% smooth. If any or all of those are the reasons, I'm fine with it, and I hope you guys are as well. So I just wanted to get this one out there as a quick update. Let me know your thoughts about this whole thing below. What you think about the weekend raid release date, the name, Garden of Salvation, the fact that this is now in October. Do you think Borderlands was a factor? I really want to know everybody's thoughts, so drop something below. I'm kind of curious if this is good, bad, if you have opinions, if you think the reasons for it, let me know below. Really curious your guys' thoughts, because this is definitely all speculation outside of what they're saying in front of us. So thank you guys for your time today. Look for a couple other videos. I'm going to try and schedule those out over the weekend. Enjoy your Solstice grind. You have more time to do it in 3 weeks more, so take your time. Don't grind it all out. And I hope you guys enjoy. So have a great one. I will see you all soon, and enjoy your week. You guys can find me on Twitch and Twitter. It's Ebontis on both. If you haven't subbed to my YouTube channel yet, hit that subscribe button, and the alert bell will help keep my videos coming to you, because we all know YouTube's algorithm is all over the place. So thank you very much for the support. 35,000 subs and growing. You guys are all awesome. Thank you. You guys rock. See you soon.